Welcome back. So in this session, what we'll be doing is we will be taking a different approach. We will be discussing some problem statements and we'll try to write some query against it. So what we'll do is we will cover some concepts by directly writing queries against our AdventureWorks database. So let's get started. I'm going to click on New Query and let's just make sure we are using the right database. All right. Okay, let's get started. Now, let's look at some tables first, right? Let's look at the department table and write a select query. So select name, or let's say select star from human resources department. So star generally means that give me everything, all the columns. So if you look at our columns, we have 4 columns. Star will just give you everything. Just highlight that, press F5, and you can look at some sample data over here. So it has about 16 rows, and let's write some queries against them. So let's start with something simple. Let's say show me all the department names. By the way, you see the 2 dash I have put over here, that basically says that this is a comment, right? I mean, these statements will not be executed, and these are just plain comments where you put it in front of your code so that you can understand your code a little bit more better. And this can be any text. So let's proceed. Select name from human resources department, and let's see what it gives us. So it should give us only the names. All right, let's proceed. How about we get all the groups? Show me all the groups. So groups is basically stored in this group name. So basically what we are going to do is select group name from human resources department. So you get the idea by now, right? You use the word select followed by the column names, and then you specify the table name in order to get the results. And again, just to reiterate, the ones you see in blue are the inbuilt keywords. All right. Now I wanted to introduce you to a keyword called distinct. Now if you look at the group names, you see a lot of repetitions, right? It just gives you all the rows. But what if I asked you just give me the distinct values from here? Don't repeat it, right? So something like this. Show me all the distinct group names. And this is where the keyword distinct comes handy. So you say select distinct group name from human resources department. You see that it gives you just a unique set of values. Cool. Now I want to introduce you to filtering. This is where we use the where clause. So let's actually look at all the data once more, and by the way, you can selectively just highlight what you want in the query and then click or press F5 to execute that part of the query. So this is our overall data, and let's say if we just want to look at any record that has the word manufacturing in it. So you see we have record number 7, 8, and probably that's it. So this is where our where clause comes handy. So show me all the department names who are part of manufacturing, right? So the way you do it is select, let's choose name and group name, right, from our AdventureWorks.human resources department, and where we say that where group name, we introduce a keyword called like. Like is basically you say that the group name should match the word manufacturing. Now, this is more likely we call it as an exact match. So it's going to look at the column group name and it's going to see if it has a value called manufacturing. Let's see what it gives us. So it gives us 2 rows, right? Now, okay. Now let's, since we have introduced where clauses, let's basically, play around a little bit with where clauses, right? You see that we filtered by using a text. Let's filter by using some integers as well. So let's just so that it doesn't get too boring, let's choose some of the table. So let's say give me all the employees from the employee table. We have an employee table here. So I'm going to just write a query called select star from human resources dot employee. I'm going to press F5 and this gives us about 290 rows. So you see here it's about 290 rows and it has a bunch of information. Okay, now let's play around with a where clause. Okay, let's say give me a list of say all employees who have org level, you see the organization level equal to 2, right? So here we are filtering based on an integer. Let's see how to write that. Select star from human resources dot employee where organization level equal to 2. So you see for an integer we use the sign equal to, and for text we use the keyword like. Okay, let's see what this gives us. So you see that it gives us only the rows that have an organizational level equal to 2. Perfect. Now let me slightly modify this. Let me say give me a list of all employees who have org level equal to 2 or 3. You see there are two conditions I have put here, right? Okay, let's see how we go about writing this. We say select star from human resources dot employee, these things remain the same, where organization level in 2, 3. So we introduce the keyword in here. Basically it says that you have a list and give me all the rows which match this criteria. Let's see what it gives us. So sure enough, it gives us all records which have an organization level as 2 or 3, right? Perfect. Okay, now let's take one more example of a text value just so that we get some practice. Let's say we need okay, let me just look at the data once more. Okay, okay, let's choose this row, facilities manager. So let's say give me a list of employees who have a title as facilities manager. So by now you must have figured out we write select star from human resources dot employee where job title, so should it be equal or should it be like? Now we are going to use a text match here, so we'll use the keyword like. Facilities manager. So sure enough, it just gives us one row. Now what happens if I don't match the casing, if I write something like this, facilities manager, all uppercase, what do you think will happen here? Let's find out. You see that still it gave you that one row back. This means that this is not case sensitive. You can pretty much, use any casing, and basically if the text matches, it's going to give you that record back. Okay, now one thing you find over here is you're doing something called as an exact match, meaning whatever you have given here should exactly match with the job title. Let's try something else. You see, I put 2 spaces in the end. So what it is doing is it is trying to match from the set of records the keyword facilities manager space space. And there is no record like that because it's doing an exact match. What if I told you there is a wildcard where you say that, okay, give me all the records that at least have the word manager in it. I don't really care whether it's facilities manager or any other manager. So the way you do that is using a wildcard. So let's say something like this. Give me all the employees who have a title, or let's say who have the word manager in their title, right? How about that? So we say select star from human resources where job title like manager. Now would this give us any result at all? No. Let's see. It won't, because it's basically checking for an exact match, right? But what we need is we need to get all the records that basically have that keyword wherever it is, but basically it should have the word manager in its job title. So we introduce something called as a wildcard. It's a %sign. This basically says that anything can be before the word manager, but nothing should be after the word manager, right? So if we execute this, you see that the % is anything that is before the word manager and there's nothing after the word manager, right? So this is how you this is how you do pattern matching. Now let's look at one more example. You see the job title production control manager, document control manager. Let's say we want to basically return all the records that have the word control, right? And anything can be before and after the word control. The way you do this is control, and after control you put a %sign, which means that anything can be before the word control and anything can be after the word control, but you need to have the word control in your job title. Let's look at this. See, this is how you, so in this case there is nothing, and that's also a perfectly valid scenario, right? And you see this is how the pattern matching happens. So this is kind of playing around with how to filter your data using text and using integers. All right, so let's go further. Now I want to introduce you to a little bit more where clauses, but we'll be trying to filter out some dates, right? We have here birth date, hire date. Let's try to play around with them. We'll have a separate session on how to manipulate dates, but here the point of the next few queries is just to see what are the possibilities to filter out dates. Okay, now let's just look at the entire data set. Okay, now let's say we want to get all employees who are born after say 1st of January 1980. So how do we do that? So give me all employees who are born after Jan 1, 1980. How do we do that? Again, this will give us all the employees, but we need to add a filter. So we say where birth date and this is where we introduce the greater than sign, greater than month, date, 1980. Let's see what this does. So sure enough, you see that it's kind of filtered all the data and given you all the records which match this criteria, where the birth date is greater than 1st of January 1980. Perfect. All right. How about now we play around with some date ranges, right? We say that give me all the employees who are born between 1970 and 1980. Let's see how that looks like. So give me all employees who are born between Jan 1, 1970 and Jan 1, 1980. So how do we go about doing that? So one of the ways is using, of course, you can say that where birth date is greater than 1st January 1970 and birth date I think I should just make this correction quickly here, is less than 1st of January 1980, right? So this will give you that range. SQL Server also provides you another inbuilt keyword to do this. So you say that select, let me just copy paste this part, and that's called as the between clause. So you say birth date between 1/1/1970 and 1/1/1980. So it's going to look between these dates and return the results to you. So you see that all are between 1970 and 1980. Okay, so I think you must have got a good understanding of some of the key concepts here. What we will do is we will look at some advanced concepts now. We'll look at some ordering clauses, how to order your data in ascending order, how to order your data in descending order, how to join tables, how to run some aggregations, and so on and so forth.